The unofficial start to summer travel season, that would be Memorial Day, is less than 2 weeks away. So how about an early travel report? First off, get your wallets ready. Gas prices hit another record high at more than $4.50 a gallon. And get your patience ready. 39 million Americans are expected to travel 50 miles or more from home. That is up 8% over the prior year. And it includes 3 million people who will fly. That is a giant 25% increase from last year. And speaking of travel, I have traveled back to the table because we've got a big guest here.
Well done, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yes, our big guest is United Airlines CEO. Very well done, by the way. You're right. CEO Scott Kirby joins us now with more on the start of the summer vacation season. We always like to have you in the studio, Mr. Kirby, so good to have you back at the table.
Thank you.
So you just heard it. The gas prices are going up, travel's going up, more passengers, staffing shortages with the pilots, with TSA agents. Is United Airlines ready? And I know you're going to say, yes, we're ready. Are you really ready, Scott Kirby?
We really are ready at United. You can book with confidence at United. But it partly means we're not flying as big a schedule as we were before COVID. We're about 13% smaller than we were. That really is about prioritizing operating reliability for customers over the possibility of short-term profits. But we're going to gradually ramp up. But that's the key to making sure we're ready is don't get out over our skis and ahead of what the system can support right now.
I think we all expected a gas increase because everybody's feeling that.
Right.
But the gas prices rose, the airfare prices rose 18.6% in April. That's a huge jump in 1 month.
Yeah. So really what
about prices, not gas, prices.
Yeah, it really is about jet fuel prices. Our jet fuel at today's prices, our fuel expense would be $10 billion more than it was in 2019. Jet fuel prices have almost doubled in the past couple of months, and that's really driving the price increases for airlines.
But why don't you eat those prices and let the customers benefit?
Because we can't afford to. I mean, look, we're
no, but it's a serious.
I know, but we're in the recovery mode from COVID, and trying to come out of what was the most devastating crisis in the history of aviation. We've got to get back. We made it. We survived through the crisis, but now at United we took on an extra $22 billion of debt. We got to start paying that down, and so we've at least got to recover the increase in jet fuel prices.
But you are expecting record numbers this quarter, correct?
Well, we're expecting record revenues this quarter, but our profitability is still lower than it was in the pre-COVID era because fuel prices have gone up so much. So we haven't quite recovered all of the fuel price yet. So we are eating some of it, but prices are going up really because of jet fuel price.
Yeah.
The TSA is warning of some hiccups for staffing shortages of their own. And I got to say thank you to Heidi from Detroit who let me cut the line. Otherwise, I would not have made my flight to Detroit yesterday. I'm serious, or to Buffalo yesterday.
And all the passengers are talking about you, Tony Dokoupil. I don't care.
I had to pose for some pictures. Thank you to Heidi and everyone else in that line. That was on me. But that's slightly outside of your lane. But should people be prepared for extra delays when they get to the airport as well?
Yeah, look, there are staffing shortages across the whole economy that affects the TSA and others around airlines. I think the TSA, by the way, has done a great job throughout the crisis. And they do things like you talked about, helping customers that are going to miss a flight. And not just because you're a TV star, they do it for people every day and all the time. But I would get to the airport a little earlier this summer because staffing shortages are exacerbated. Somebody gets COVID, then everyone tests. And, the sick calls are higher in all businesses than they were before. And so probably get to the airport a little bit earlier than you normally would just because of the possibility.
We've talked about this before, but it just logically, Scott, doesn't make sense to me that we don't have to wear a mask on the plane. Honestly, I mean, we're in this little tube, and I know you're going to talk about air circulation. I was on a plane the other day. I was coughing. I didn't have COVID, but people looked at me like I slapped their mama. And I realized, and I had my mask on, but it just helped me understand why it's okay to fly with that many people who are coughing and doing whatever. Why that is still safe.
Well, first, our customers, if they want, can absolutely wear a mask. But the reason it's safe on an airplane, it literally is the safest environment you're going to be in indoors, anywhere that you are. It's because the airflow on airplanes was designed to recirculate every 2 to 3 minutes through HEPA-grade filters. The second best place you can be is a hospital ICU. The airplane is literally 10 times more airflow through HEPA-grade filters than a hospital ICU. That's why being on an airplane next to 2 people in a middle seat is the equivalent of being 15 feet away from someone in a building. You're safer sitting next to me on an airplane than you are sitting across the table from me right now.
Scott, we've been talking over the last couple of weeks about the possibility of Roe v. Wade being overturned. I find that nowadays politics and business are somewhat synonymous. Do you feel like it's an obligation to step in when these issues arise for your employees?
So my obligation, I think, is to do the right thing for our employees. Our recent advertising campaign is good leads the way. We've tried to do the right thing throughout. My preference is to lead by example. The work that United has done on sustainability, on diversity, even what we did with vaccine requirements, that was controversial, but we took action. Instead of talking, let action lead the way and do the right thing for our employees and our customers.
Well, you said it used to be fly the friendly skies, something special in the air. Now it's good leads the way. But according to a recent survey, United Airlines came in below average for customer satisfaction. What are you doing or need to do to change that?
So we're working to improve the customer satisfaction. All of our internal data, actually, some of those are backwards looking, and particularly during COVID. Our internal data says that we have the highest Net Promoter Scores in our history. But what we're doing, all kinds of things to run the airline reliably, to communicate with customers. We're getting better about, like yesterday, there were huge storms here in New York, telling customers in advance what's going on. You can't avoid that there are going to be weather issues, but communicating with customers, investing in the experience and the product on the airplane. There's a long list of things. And we see the data internally. That's backwards looking, but you look forward, that it really is changing at United and how customers feel when they fly United.
Nate raised a good point about companies that are starting to speak out about controversial political issues. Do you intend to speak out publicly about these issues?
When we need to, we will. We have tried, however, to really focus on letting action lead the way. One of the frustrations I think we all have with politics, it's become divisive. People are against the other side as opposed to for things.
Yeah.
We can do things like the Aviate Academy, which is training the next generation of pilot, but it's also affecting diversity. That's inspirational to people. It's positive. Lead by positive example. And there's a lot of opportunities for us in corporate leadership to lead by positive example instead of just be putting out a corporate statement that's opposed to something.
I hear you on that. I enjoy my United flights, by the way.
Thank you.
Scott Kirby, thank you so much. We will be right back.